I'm Oa.
My name is Scott.
We're documentary filmmakers just coming off of our fourth and a half. Yeah, I mean, anything can happen, and it did.
It did.
No intention of filming this or capturing any of this. It all kind of landed in our lap. You were filming when it happened. We just showed up, and there was Thor, the god of thunder, like the Thor, is right there with his wife Sif, and they were just eating lunch. So it was maybe a little bit unprofessional, but
yeah, and a bit invasive. But that's what you gotta do.
I mean, that
you
we're
gotta
filmmakers.
invade people's privacy.
You never know when.
I don't even know how Thor or Sif didn't hear or see this coming, but Loki just walks up behind Sif. It was quite an event. We were like stunned. It took us a second to make sure that our cameras were rolling because we weren't sure if we were like, did we really just get that? Man, that was crazy.
Like, total bald spot. Like, it was gone. Thor was furious. He was very upset.
He wasn't having it.
It took a while, but we did get through to him, and Thor threatened to break every bone in Loki's body, which apparently scared him pretty bad. Badly enough to have him run off to seek something from the cave of the dwarves. He actually met up with two brothers named Brock and Sindri, who knows, I don't know how long they've been working there.
Long time.
They're very well known. He asked them to build for him a new lock of hair for Sif.
As a way of getting Thor to not break every bone in his body.
Yes, exactly.
So even though he was seeking some forgiveness for his actions, there were some selfish underpinnings.
Definitely.
As to why he wanted that forgiveness. I don't think he wanted it because he wanted Thor to love him. He was worried about his body. He was worried about his physical condition. After a couple hours, he came back with an absolutely gorgeous, probably one of the most incredible locks of hair I've ever seen. Quite pristine.
I couldn't believe they did it in that time they did it. It was remarkable. So
this got Loki thinking. He doubted their ability. And he even made a bet. He bet his own head that the dwarves couldn't make, what was it, three
of the greatest things
they've ever made.
Yeah.
Which is a pretty intense, Yeah. So without little consideration, the dwarves agreed. They said yes.
Both of them, yeah.
Same time.
It was kind of fun.
So they got to work, and Loki went off. A couple days had to pass.
Yeah. But
we could tell there was something in the way that Loki was speaking, in the way that he was interacting. He was up to something.
Oh, yeah.
He was planning something. As we were filming, we noticed something very particular, especially with Brock. He was the one responsible for tending the fire, as Sindri was in the back actually forging and creating these creations.
And we noticed a particularly large fly sort of harassing him. And eventually we came to the realization that it had to be Loki.
So first what? He stung him in the hand. That didn't really faze him, surprisingly, because that fly was freaking huge.
It was a big fly.
So in that time, Sindri was able to come out with the first creation. It was the Gullinbursti, which was a golden boar. But he really thought, he's like, I could do better.
Yeah.
So once again, Sindri goes back to the fire. Brock he's tending the fire.
Fly comes right in again, hits Brock right on the back of the neck, and it looked like it hurt so bad. He was shaking, swatting, but that thing just latched onto him and was tearing holes in that poor guy.
And then Sindri, as he pulls the creation out of the fire, decided to call it Draupnir, which is a ring that was created. But, unfortunately, Sindri was not pleased once again. He thought he could have done a lot better.
Like, so he do better.
He decides to get
again.
Yeah. Yep, just like
the last time was brutal. Went right for Brock's face. and got him right on the eyelid. His eyes swelled up. It was ugly.
The blood clotted over his eyes, and he couldn't even see what he was doing.
Yeah.
And now, the Mjolnir was the creation that Sindri brought out as the third creation. This is what came to be known as Thor's hammer, the hammer of lightning.
Sindri came out, he was a little upset with his creation, but understandable.
Because of that handle.
Because of the handle.
It was short.
But I think at that point it's safe to say Loki was definitely nervous.
Yeah, it was pretty clear that they were going to have the rights to Loki's head and do with it whatever they pleased.
He took the ring, the boar, and the hammer and brought them back to Asgard to present, along with Sif's new hair. Returned the hair to Sif, prevented Thor's rage, gave Thor Mjolnir, gave the ring to Odin, and I believe gave the boar to Frey. Then come the dwarves, not so surprisingly, coming to take their head. They want Loki's head.
He comes up with this loophole and says that although the dwarves agreed to have his head, he clarifies that they were never allowed to touch his neck. Without being allowed to touch his neck, they can't cut his head off. So yeah, this frustrated them.
Yeah.
But that didn't stop them from technically having the rights to his head and doing with it whatever they pleased. They decided to...
Having made the bet with them and mocking them and their abilities, decided to sew Loki's mouth shut to prevent any more of his mischief
and deceit. Yeah, and his deceit through language.